they usually have said it is stationary. Now they're saying moving north at 10 miles an hour. So this one having a little bit more movement. I did say it's been moving a little bit north than the last few. So I will go ahead and track that out. Again, not a whole lot of movement, about 10 miles an hour at best, but I will put a small track on it out here for you guys. Again, the heaviest portion just sitting to the south of Bruce, moving about 10 miles an hour, going to be in places like Matthews at 707, Buckhorn at 711, Robs at 711, Srepida around 719. Hebron around 734. And I would take those places. If you're in those places, you're already seeing some rain right now, but that severe thunderstorm warned cluster hasn't made it to you. I would take those times with a grain of salt, because yes, has a little bit of a northward movement, but we usually see these kind of bubble up where they are and then start to decrease moving forward. So that's not saying it's going to be severe once it finally decides to make its way up to you, but definitely keeping a close eye on those areas nonetheless. And again, very heavy and electric storm ongoing right now. Again, very heavy and electric storm overall. Lots of lightning with this as well. That's been one of our primary threats, because we know so many people are outside during the 4th of July holiday, trying to be outside, do things outside, have fireworks shows going on tonight. So these storms have definitely put a damper on some of those plans. The good news is, as we head over the next few hours, we will continue to see coverage become less and less and less. So if you got any plans that you're trying to shoot off those fireworks, give it about 30 minutes to an hour if you're seeing some rain in your area, and you should be dry after that. So again, some good news moving forward in the evening, but definitely seeing a very, very electric storm over in Calhoun County. I'd be careful. I would not travel in this if I did not have to. Again, very heavy rain. If we look at how much rain this is putting out, you can see, let me turn off the lightning tracker, you'll be able to see it a little bit more. When we see these purples start to show up, that's heavy to extreme amounts of rain being put down, again, on a small amount of time, in between Pittsboro and Lloyd, in between south of New Liberty right now, putting down a lot of rain at the moment. How much rain have we picked up? Well, between Calhoun City and Vardaman, I will say we've been watching this storm, and it does have a little bit of a northward movement, because before it was severe warned, when we were tracking it at 6, it was really sitting in between Calhoun City and Vardaman and dumping a lot of rain around Vardaman, and that's where those yellow returns are coming up. So even seeing this dumping anywhere between possibly 2 to 3 inches in the heaviest pockets of it. Again, that's radar estimated, so not 100% accurate, but definitely dumping a lot of rain, making for us keeping a close eye on some flooding potential, as well as these storms, again, do not have a lot of movement with it. The heaviest of that rainfall, thankfully, though, has moved out of that Hollis area where we're seeing that 2 to 3 inch mark further off to the north. So that's the good news. It's not dumping its heaviest rainfall where it was previously. So a little bit of a northward movement. Again, a lot of rainfall you can see falling just to the north of Hollis. This is just to the north of Highway 8. Calhoun City really getting in on that right now. That stretches again from Pittsboro, Lloyd, just to the east of the city of Bruce as well. So keeping a very close eye again on this severe thunderstorm warned cluster of storms that has reached severe limits, prompting the National Weather Service to go ahead and issue a severe thunderstorm warning because of that. So keeping a close eye on everything the National Weather Service in Memphis and the National Weather Service in Jackson is saying in regards to all of these clusters of storms that we are seeing and that we have seen over the past few hours. Overall, everywhere else seeing storms well below severe limits. We are seeing another severe thunderstorm warning over in Marion County. So if you're joining us over in Alabama, Marion County sitting to the east of Hamilton, seeing some heavy rainfall there. This warning expires in the next 4 minutes until 6:55 or 45 out here on your Saturday evening. So this is about to expire, but still some heavy rain sitting just to the south of 278 over there in Marion County, sitting to the east of Hamilton, around Piney Grove, Pierce Mills, around Pea Ridge as well. So definitely some heavy rain out there over into Alabama. Those are the two storms we're watching. Other ones, not overly impressive, I will say. Some very heavy rain was falling within the city of Oxford. Now, not looking near as impressive as it was. Still rainfall falling over a lot of Lafayette County, but not necessarily as heavy as it was. Watch over the last 30 minutes. You really see that decrease, that heavy rain that was happening over in Oxford. Now just seeing a few heavy returns showing up more around Taylor. This is how these storms go, right? See this happening. This is looping over the last 30 minutes. Very heavy, turning more to moderate to light rainfall. That's what we expect these storms to do. And that's what I expect that storm to do over in Calhoun and Chickasaw County as well, although it has reached severe limits as of late. And again, lots of lightning. Let's check that lightning counter right one more time, making sure I keep an eye on the chat as well for anything you guys have to say. But this has been our most electric storm thus far. So that's something I will note about this storm that is severe warned again over in Calhoun and Chickasaw County. A lot of lightning associated with this cluster that's again mainly in portions of Calhoun County. So I will say if you're in Calhoun County, even in Chickasaw County, this is producing a whole lot of lightning. You know the drill. If thunder wars, go indoors. If you hear the thunder, go inside, bring your kiddos outside until this storm decreases, because I'm telling you, it is putting out a lot of lightning. And make sure you have your lightning counter. If you plan on being outside over even the next few hours, make sure you have your lightning alerts on Mississippi Live on your weather app. It is a lifesaver, at least it can be. It'll let you know if there is lightning within 10 miles of your current location. So you know if you get that alert, you need to be moving inside. You need to be bringing the kiddos or the people you have with you inside as well until things do die down. So it can definitely be very helpful in times like this when we want to be outside, but we're also watching for storms to be popping up. So again, this severe thunderstorm warning going until 7:15 for portions of Calhoun and Chickasaw County. I'm keeping an eye on the National Weather Service and everything they're saying out there, but this is really clearly our most impressive storm here in North Mississippi at this time. As you can see here, if I zoom out, can't even really see much of anything else other than this storm. And then, of course, that one over in Marion County. But as for North Mississippi, majority of us are seeing some light to maybe a few heavy downpours in Lafayette County, Panola County as well. Seeing some heavy rainfall again, mainly south of 278. There is some heavy rainfall falling, I will say, along 55 and 51 from Como over to Batesville in portions of Tate and Panola County right now. If you are traveling along between Batesville and Como, you'll see some heavy rain out there. But for the most part, that is well below severe limits in terms of what we're talking about that's happening down in Calhoun and Chickasaw County. So this is definitely our primary concern right now with very, very heavy rain going on. So this is going to go into effect again until 7:15 p.m. You're just now joining in with us. I'm meteorologist Maggie McCauley. We are tracking a severe thunderstorm warning that's in Calhoun and Chickasaw County, but primarily in Calhoun County. As you can see here, majority of the heaviest of rain is in Calhoun County, extending from Bruce, Pittsboro, Calhoun City, Lloyd, over into Reed as well. And a lot of lightning. I've said this multiple times. I'll keep saying it. This is our most electric storm thus far. I haven't seen a storm produce over 200-300 total lightning strikes by itself as of late. So this is definitely a very, very electric storm and something we want to take seriously out there. Winds, the primary threat with this. National Weather Service pulled this severe thunderstorm warning primarily because of winds up to 60 miles an hour. So that's our primary concern with this, along with very heavy rainfall and all of the lightning. But why that severe thunderstorm warning was pulled was because of winds up to 60 miles an hour. And again, this is moving. It said it was moving north about 10 miles an hour. If I loop this over the last 30 minutes, yes, it does have a little bit of a northward movement to it. It's not moving too much, but a little bit north, around 10 miles an hour. So we'll go ahead and put another storm track on there for you for folks that are sitting just to the north of it, but still seeing storms sitting just to the north of it that are outside of that severe thunderstorm warning over in Sarepta along Highway 9, definitely getting in on some heavy rainfall right now. Let me put it from that severe warned cell, though, and we'll go about 10 miles an hour up to the north. Again, moving very slow, but if it makes it to you, this is when it's going to be. Around Matthews, around 6:53 p.m., Buckhorn around 6:56, Robs around 6:57, Sarepta around 7:11 p.m., Hebron around 7:24, Randolph around 7:33, and then Spring Hill around 7:40 p.m. So again, this is if it holds together. It's really probably going to weaken in the next 20, 30 minutes. That was what we have seen thus far, I will say. If it follows the trend of what the others have been doing, of kind of growing, strengthening into severe status, and then kind of falling apart after that. So it'll probably fall apart, but if it does make it up to you, it will be there at this time. And again, moving about 10 miles an hour. So not moving too fast at all. None of these are, but at least this one has a little bit of movement with it. That is some good news in terms of the rainfall rates, because it is putting a lot of rain down at one time. So definitely going to be hindering some outdoor plans for those that are getting in on this rainfall. Let me go ahead and turn that lightning count again. That lightning is just very impressive with the storm overall, so definitely want to be inside if you're close to it. But if I put the lightning out, you can see the heavy rainfall that's happening, especially in the northern extent of this storm, sitting from Bruce and off to the east along 32. Definitely seeing some of that heaviest of rain up in Calhoun County from Bruce, again, along 32, stretching up into Matthews, just south of Matthews and Buckhorn. This is dumping a lot of rainfall on the northern half of this cluster of storms. You can see those purple returns starting to make their way up around 32. So definitely a lot of rain with this as well. Some very, very heavy rainfall. If you're traveling along 32, it definitely will make for some visibility concerns. Not going to be wanting to drive in that. If you are, you're probably going to have to pull over or at least drive very, very slow until things start to kind of die down. How much rain have we picked up over, let's say, the last 3 hours? You can see those greens starting to stretch further and further off to the north again, starting to see that accumulation come into effect over in portions of Calhoun County, but still seeing that 2 to 3 inch mark. This is that same cluster of storms that was the heaviest portion between Calhoun City and Vardaman, dumping anywhere between 2 to 3 inches possible in some places. And again, the heaviest of that continuing to make its way further off to the north. So definitely could see up to 2 inches, maybe even more than that with this storm as it makes its way through, if it continues in the intensity that it is right now. So keeping a very close eye on it in portions of the area. Like I said, severe thunderstorm warning. And just as I said, that rainfall, they just issued a flood advisory. So National Weather Service in Memphis, due to the rainfall amounts, has now went ahead and issued, along with that severe thunderstorm warning, a flood advisory for this same area for Calhoun County and also over into Chickasaw County. Let's see what this says. Urban and small stream flooding caused by excessive rainfall is expected, Calhoun in Chickasaw County, until 8:45 p.m. Impacts is minor flooding and low-lying and poor drainage areas. So because this is dumping so much rainfall in a short amount of time, the National Weather Service has went ahead and issued an aerial flood advisory, mainly for, again, minor flooding in low-lying or poor drainage areas. What does that mean for you? It means if you know those local roadways that are easily flooded, areas around your neighborhood that are easily flooded, probably going to be seeing some impacts from this. So I encourage you, as you're traveling this evening, maybe you got 4th of July holiday plans, make sure you avoid those roadways over in portions of Chickasaw and Calhoun County that you know are easily flooded. Avoid those roadways, avoid those local roadways. Even tomorrow on your Sunday, I'd go ahead and avoid those if you're making your way out to church, lunch, anything like that over in this area, as well as this is picking up, again, a lot of rain in a short amount of time. So that's another thing to note off of this storm. It's also causing some flooding concerns, and that's why the National Weather Service in Memphis went ahead and issued that as well. Someone saying, James saying, just a tad breezy on our Pittsburgh cam. I've been meaning to get over there and look at that. So give me just a second. Here's a look at our Pittsburgh cam that's near this severe thunderstorm warning cluster. Here's a look at that as I pull that up. Yeah, just a tad breezy, I would say, James. Thank you for reminding me that we have that camera. I've been meaning to pull it up. Here's a look at that. Here's a look at this Pittsburgh cam again, just next to that severe storm warned cluster. And you can see that camera swaying back and forth. You can see that rain really coming down in the distance. If you take a look at the green, that tree line, you can really see that rain coming down there and hitting that tree line and that dark clouds off in the distance as well. Temperature-wise in the low 80s, though, definitely rain-cooled air starting to come in to Pittsburgh as we speak due to this storm making its way in. And like I said, lots of lightning. You can see that there on that camera. And that swaying back and forth, that was the primary reason for the National Weather Service going ahead and prompting that severe thunderstorm warning out there, and you can see it clearly displayed on that Pittsburgh camera. As of course, thank you so much to the North Mississippi Storm Chasers for lending us your camera network so we get to show you some ground truth going on at the moment. We knew the storm was hefty, and that's just a further display of it out there on that Pittsburgh camera. So definitely not something I'd want to be getting out and about in. If you have any 4th of July holiday plans and you're within this warned area, give it 20, 30 minutes, let the storm die out, and then you can be on your way, because that is not something you want to be traveling in. Here's a look at that again. This is our camera over in Pittsburgh, kind of right in the thick of things. I will say the heaviest of rainfall, even sitting just to the east of Pittsburgh, but enough in there to really see that within our camera. So definitely keep an eye on that Pittsburgh camera, but heavy rain still blanketing portions of Calhoun and Chickasaw County, again, primarily Calhoun County, but still seeing that warned area stretching all the way into Chickasaw County. Let's take a look at that lightning counter, see if it's still up, and it is. It's still up there. Seeing lightning from this storm alone. I got to step out of the way and get my head out of the way for you guys, but this storm alone producing up to 300 strikes of lightning. That is a lot of lightning with one cluster of storms, and that is the most we have seen so far this afternoon and evening. I'll keep saying that because it is. We have seen storms up to 200. We have not seen them up to 300. So definitely a very electric storm, and that's something of note for folks that are around the area need to be coming inside if you're around this storm, due to all of the lightning associated with it as well, along with the heavy rainfall and winds. You don't want to be out and about in that anyway, but the lightning definitely making it more of a dangerous situation as well for folks that are trying to be out and have 4th of July activities. There's a look at that. If I zoom out, let's look at everything else, make sure we're not missing anything. That storm over in Marion County still producing a lot of lightning as well. Man, a whole lot of lightning, up to 276 lightning strikes with this one over in Marion County, sitting just to the east of Hamilton between Pierce Mills over in Piney Grove, Pea Ridge, Brilliant, Yampertown, Brookside over in Alabama, sitting just between 278 and 22 over in Marion County. Lots of lightning still associated with this, but no severe thunderstorm warning. The National Weather Service there has let that expire, but still an electric storm over there in portions of Alabama. As for here in North Mississippi, yes, we have that severe thunderstorm warning in Calhoun County and Chickasaw County until 7:15 p.m. Other places that are seeing a lot of rainfall up here in Tate and Panola County, or really Panola County and Lafayette County. If I stretch this over into the radar site over in Millington, I don't really know if one is better than the other in terms of this location, but still seeing some heavy rain and some cluster of storms along 55 and 51 if you're traveling in portions of Panola County, Como to Batesville, seeing some heavy rain there, and then stretching off to the east as well over into Oxford. Still looking at a lot of rain in Oxford. Oxford's gotten significantly better. I want to show you the camera over in Oxford, but still seeing some rainfall within that camera as well. So here's a look over in Oxford as we take a look at this. Still can't see most of the camera, but still, again, a lot of rainfall over there. And again, one more look at that Pittsburgh map while we're here, because man, that rain really coming down. Now still seeing some blur on the camera due to rainfall, again, hitting the camera, causing those raindrops to make some blurry conditions on that Pittsburgh camera. So definitely some hefty rain, lots of lightning, and some cloudy conditions not making, and some breezing conditions not making for a fun go of things over there in Pittsburgh and portions of Calhoun and Chickasaw County, not making for great 4th of July plans either. But like I said, not going to last forever. Very heavy at one moment and then gone the next. So definitely give it about 20, 30 minutes and things should start to get better as these really bubble up, work off the daytime heating, and then start to fall apart thereafter. So we're keeping a close eye on it. Again, that was over in Pittsburgh where this storm we're still watching. And honestly, the storm's kind of growing out of the severe thunderstorm warning. You can see it kind of capping over that yellow line, continuing to grow off to the north, impacting more of Sarepta, Buckhorn, Randolph. We did go ahead and put a storm track up there for you, but kind of seeing that cluster grow and combine with other storms, causing that to happen a little bit earlier. You can see those storms that were off further to the north, see these kind of combine, making for that growth to continue to happen off to the north and outside of that severe thunderstorm warning. So I would even say if you're up in Sarepta, Buckhorn, Randolph, still treated as a severe thunderstorm warning, be inside and let this pass over, and then you can continue your holiday plans up in Pontotoc County, because that is definitely some heavy rainfall falling even just to the north of that severe thunderstorm warning. You can see kind of those purples starting to show up. That is what I'm talking about. And we can look at our severe threats, definitely seeing hail possible within that specific area I was just talking about. You can kind of see those deeper purples means hail possible within that area of the storm. So definitely something we are going to be keeping our eye on. Here's a look at our hail threat, sponsored by True Shield Roofing, indicating that same area. So along 341, just to the south of Sarepta, Matthews included in that, is kind of where we're watching the potential of some small hail happening within this storm. So keep an eye on that. Yes, we could see hail if I turn off this lightning tracker that kind of takes a hold of everything. We could see it within the severe thunderstorm warned area as well, sitting just to the east of Pittsboro. But this is the area I'm more concerned with some small hail that's sitting just outside of that severe thunderstorm warning. So keep an eye on that threat. Again, that was primarily issued due to winds, but definitely could see a hail threat with that as well. And very, very heavy rainfall even outside of that small hail threat as well. So continuing with this severe thunderstorm warning, if you're just now joining in with us, I'm meteorologist Maggie McCauley. Happy Independence Day, everybody. We're tracking storms out there, right? So here's a look at your severe thunderstorm warning. This is for Calhoun County and Chickasaw County, but this is primarily impacting Calhoun County out here until 7:15 p.m. So this has about 15 minutes left along with it. And we're keeping a very close eye on it because it's growing outside of the severe thunderstorm warned area. It's growing more from Pittsboro up into Sarepta. So even up into Sarepta, I would again stay inside, treat that as the same. Some very heavy rainfall, some very gusty winds, and a whole lot of lightning. Let's take a look at that lightning counter, shall we? Still seeing up to 300 strikes of lightning. So this has not come down thus far. We're keeping an eye on it. I've been on, I don't know, quite a few times this evening before our latest newscast talking about severe thunderstorm warnings. And I've really gotten off before the warning expired because the storms kind of fell apart. And each time the National Weather Services have ended up canceling the warnings early. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen with this one. I think I could see them extending this further off to the north due to the growth of this cell further off and outside of that severe thunderstorm warned area. You can really see it. See those purple and almost black returns? That indicates the hail threat with this. See, look at that. Still seeing that purple showing up, meaning peak impacts, hail possible. Taking a look at, hold on just a second. Let me click on the right thing. Take a look at our hail threat, again, sponsored by True Shield Roofing, still seeing it within that same area as well. Now, it has not went up to probable. I will say it's still in that possible category, but still keeping a very close eye on that area that's just sitting outside of that severe thunderstorm warning along 341 around Matthews and sitting just to the west of that as well. So keeping a close eye on that hail threat that's sitting just outside of that severe thunderstorm warned area. And again, that storm continues to grow off to the north. So I could see the National Weather Service in Memphis probably reissuing this and issuing it further off to the north than they had it at first. So this probably needs to be extended further than 7:15 as of right now. So we'll see what they do, but definitely see that storm continuing to grow and still seeing a lot of lightning. You can see that in the corner. Lightning strikes on your screen up to 380. If I continue to zoom in on this, that's primarily because of this storm on your screen. Up to 3 light hole from just asking tornadoes. That's a no. We're not going to have tornado environment for storms out here. So that's right. But definitely not going to see tornadoes. Our primary concern with all of these storms moving forward is wind, rain, and lightning. Now, there is a small hail threat, but I think wind is our primary concern. Next is going to be the lightning concern because we got so many folks outside trying to do outside activities. And then also, again, very heavy rain that could lead to some flooding concerns. Aerial flood advisory is still in effect for Calhoun and Chickasaw County. So on top of that severe thunderstorm warning, they also have an aerial flood advisory because of all of the rain that's been dumping in the area. So definitely keep an eye on your guys' chat. No problem. If y'all have any questions, of course, I'll keep an eye on it and try to do my best to answer. Again, still seeing very heavy rainfall out of this. Taking a look at that rain, we're seeing, see how there was some heavy rain from Calhoun City to Vardaman. That was before this was severe warned. We're starting to see those totals start to pop up more and more off to the north, where the heaviest of those bands have started to make their way through. So even seeing that between Pittsboro and Lloyd, up to 2 inches. So where this is the heaviest up in Calhoun County, we could see some areas pick up around 2 inches from this storm. That's a lot of rainfall to pick up with just one storm. So definitely keep an eye on some flooding concerns. That's why that aerial flood advisory was issued. And of course, you know, the areas that have the poor drainage issues and the local roadways that are easily flooded more than we do. And I encourage you to continue to avoid both of those places moving forward, especially within this area of Calhoun County that have seen very, very heavy rainfall. I'm talking Calhoun City, Vardaman, and those sitting to the north of that in Calhoun County. So Pittsboro, Bruce, Lloyd, Reed along 12, or not 12, 32 up there sitting just to the west of Bruce. Definitely going to want to avoid those roadways that are easily flooded, because this is dumping a whole lot of rainfall in a short period of time. And look at all that lightning. I mean, just an electric storm that we've been continuing to watch. I'm going to take another look at our Pittsboro cam. Oh, sorry, I'm reading some of you guys' things at the same time. Here's a look at that Pittsboro cam. Sorry, I kind of clicked around before I got there. Here you go. Look at that. Again, still seeing very, very heavy rainfall. And we're continuing to monitor this, and it's really looked the same. And again, that's that flooding concern that continues to be into effect, because very heavy rainfall still falling in the same area, just like there over in Pittsboro. Temperatures 80, rain cooled air. Some good news out there. Feels like temperatures are in the 80s too, but you're dealing with some very heavy rainfall. A lot of lightning and a lot of wind with this as well. So definitely keeping an eye on that. But that's look out of that Pittsboro cam at that severe warned cell that's over in Calhoun County. Someone asking about how long this specific storm is going to last. It's hard to tell, but I will tell you it's not going to last forever. Sorry, that wasn't meant to be funny. But these storms have really popped up and then they die thereafter. I would say about 20, 30 minutes. This has stayed. It's been sticking around. It's had more longevity than the rest of these storms, I will say. So the rest of these storms that we've been watching that have severe thunderstorm warnings on them have really lasted about 10 to 15 minutes and kind of died thereafter. This has kept its umph, it's kept its energy going, and it still has it. And we're still seeing a lot of lightning with it. So I would say the National Weather Service, this is supposed to stop at 7:15. I could see them reissuing this severe thunderstorm warning, just because this storm is still producing a lot of lightning, a lot of wind, and a lot of heavy rainfall out there. I think you probably should give it another 30 minutes before this really starts to be on the decline, for those asking how long this is supposed to last. Someone asking about Pontotoc. So we'll take a look at different areas. Again, we've been really focusing over in Calhoun County. We'll look further off to the north. Again, that's not necessarily in Pontotoc. Pontotoc is dry, but just to the south of Pontotoc, in southern portions of Pontotoc County, over in places like Buckhorn, are starting to get the northern extent of that severe warned cluster of storms. So definitely keep an eye on the very south and western extent of Pontotoc County, but dry within the city of Pontotoc. Somebody asking about all everywhere else. I'm going to zoom out and show you. The majority of us are not seeing what places like Calhoun City, Calhoun County are seeing. The heaviest of rainfall past that is places over in Panola County, from Como, Sardis, down just sitting into the city of Batesville, and also off to the east, getting in on some very heavy rainfall, especially if you see this just to the west of the city of Como. You can see these returns starting to happen, making me think there's some potential of some small hail, and that's what that's saying as well on those peak impacts. So definitely keep an eye on that, sitting just to the west of the city of Como. Not seeing our True Shield hail tracker showing up on that, but definitely some heavy rainfall over there. Everywhere else, light rainfall over in Benton tip of Prentiss County. Hickory Flat, Blue Mountain, Ripley, Jumpertown, Boonville, seeing some light rainfall, but not even seeing much lightning associated with this at all. So some light rain, but nothing to hinder your plans as much as we're seeing down to the south in places like Calhoun County. Someone asking about fireworks. I don't know anybody doing fireworks, but definitely can check your local pages and try to find that out. I was hoping to see some fireworks this afternoon or this evening, and I know you guys probably were too. So definitely want these storms to die down as we get into firework hour, and that's definitely happening right now. They are going to go ahead and expire this severe thunderstorm warning for Calhoun in Chickasaw County at 7:15. So I was keeping a close eye on that. This does seem to have gone down a little bit, but just the lightning with it makes me think a little bit differently. I mean, just still a whole lot of lightning with this. I have not seen that lightning decrease in intensity since we've started. And that's really a key factor. When you're talking about storms decreasing in intensity, you'll most likely see the lightning start to go down significantly when that happens. Just haven't really seen it with this. A lot of lightning associated with it. The wind and the rain rates have gone down, not seeing those extreme purples necessarily anymore. So definitely keeping a close eye on that. But overall, this National Weather Service does say they're going to expire the warning at 7:15. But still, a lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning from Pittsboro, Bruce, up into places close to Sarepta and Buckhorn, up in Pontotoc County. So that is something that's going to be hindering your plans. If we watch it over the past 30 minutes, definitely can see when it peaked and it's starting to come down. I will say it is starting to come down a little bit, but still a whole lot of lightning associated with this. I encourage you to have the Mississippi Live weather app downloaded and handy through the evening. Our live Mama Justice Doppler radar will be right there in the palm of your hand where you can see where these storms are. You can also have your lightning notifications on, and that is very, very helpful and very safe out there too if you plan on being outdoors, because you'll get a notification if lightning is with a 10-mile radius of your given location. Again, that will make things very easy for you. You can just keep your phone on you, see that that's there. You can head inside and take a look at the radar and see exactly what's going on. So again, Mississippi Live weather app, super handy to have on days like today where we have these storms kind of taking place across the area. But because they are going to go ahead and expire that severe thunderstorm warning, I am going to let you guys go. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in with us. Of course, if there are any other severe thunderstorm warnings in the area, if they reissue this or anything like that, we'll be right back here live on Mississippi Live Weather. Make sure to be careful out there. Have your alerts on. Of course, watch us here for the latest. If anything comes up, we'll be right back here on Mississippi Live Weather.